Yes.
Hey, welcome to the jungle. We have fun and games. This is the Sounds on Vinyl show, and we're here to make your ears bleed this week. My name, as always, is Phil Boyer, and across the vast open sea, where the Vikings once ruled, is my brother from another mother, Professor Rockstar Extraordinaire, lead singer of every single band in the world, and you just don't know it, is Mike Svensson. Mike, what is going on in the land of Scandinavia? How's it going?
And I thought those introductions couldn't get any better. I mean, that's the one. That's a keeper right there. Singer of all the bands in the world, but you don't know it. I mean, that's right there. I don't have. That's the beauty of it. After this show, I could just take that snippet and record it and have it on my phone, and then if people ask me who I am, I can just play that, and there would be. I'm taking no questions. Just listen to this, and I'm good to go. It's going
you
good.
You can transcribe that for all your social media profiles too. That way.
You see? Oh man. Other than that, it's going good here in the southern parts of Sweden. We still have summer, which is really good. The temperature is it's nothing compared to you guys. I mean, damn, we're like in the midst of like 75 and something like that. And you guys are in the 90s. Damn.
Yeah, we have hell. You have summer, we have hell.
Yeah.
Yes, it's I'm in this box right now.
Yeah.
That's probably about 95 degrees at this point right now.
Yeah.
It's gotten really hot. We have humidity today, so it's unpleasant.
Oh man. And for the Scandinavians listeners or everywhere in Europe, would you use the Celsius system? It's sort of like 35.
It's like 30-something degrees.
Yeah, 35 Celsius, which is nuts. It's just crazy. Well, enough of that.
Enough of that shit.
Yeah, enough of that shit. We're talking about records, for crying out loud. That's like the most important thing there is.
That's right.
And we spoke about this just a minute ago, but I have to bring it up since I've been spinning this. And it's funny because we talked about their debut album on the last episode, and we have to talk about this baby here, Ride the Lightning, from Metallica, which turned like 38 years old. Could you believe it?
No,
and it's
38,
it's
man. That's just too long ago, man. That's just too many years. I can't even count that high because that makes me old now.
Yeah, but it was when you hit a certain amount of years, that shit stops just as you know it. So you're going backwards from sort of like 40, you go backwards. But isn't this crazy? I mean, this was my first Metallica album that I bought with my own money, Ride Lightning, and it's crazy because we looked it up, and it's released. I mean, in the same month of July. The first one, Kill 'Em All, on July 25th, 1983, and Ride Lightning on July 27th of 1984. And it's, I mean, what do you remember about this one? Because I have vivid remembrance of it. I mean, it's such a fantastic album.
You know, this is, for me, this is one of the core staple Metallica records. This is one that I go to often to listen to right after Kill 'Em All. This one is just, I remember when I first heard it and that first song, the intro, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Right? You go from Kill 'Em All, so fucking heavy, to this. dee,
Dee,
dee, dee,
dee,
dee,
dee,
dee,
dee,
dee.
dee.
And then like, okay, what?
Yeah.
I guess it was foreshadowing the Black Album. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Oh
but
man.
then it hits. Then it hits, and it's just like, okay, all right, it's good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just a phenomenal album. Still holds up up today.
Yeah.
Just
And it's funny because I think that this might be where this differs a bit, because you're 1 year older than me and you discovered like Kill 'Em All as your first album with Metallica and knew that they were heavy. I've heard about the name. It's like when I listen to the radio back in the day, I get this a lot when I think about it. I heard stuff on the radio and I memorized what the band I heard the name Metallica, and I thought, well, that's a strange name right there, Metallica. And I think I heard like Motor Breath on the radio, something like that, but I didn't pay that much attention. So now when I went to my friend's house and he sits me down in front of the speakers, like, you got to listen to this. And looking at no, I actually didn't. I didn't get to see the. He was sneaky, so he put it on the turntable, and you got that band, dan, 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 dan. And I came from like Kiss, Whitesnake, Iron Maiden, and that's Maiden was like the heaviest that I listened to back in like 1983, 84, something like that. And then when Fight Fire hits, when it goes into the chugging of the guitars, man, I almost shit my pants. Fucking hell, that was. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, and it's the same thing with Kiss Alive. I was even younger back then, but it's sort of like when I saw Kiss on those like football cards that they had. I thought they were creepy. Fuck, they're weird looking. But then you couldn't stop watching. You had to watch. You had to sneak in your room and you watch those football cards. Oh man, it's so weird, but it's at the same time it's really cool. And I remember when I got the Ride Lightning album in my hands from my buddy there. They're so angry. Look at James up there in the corner. He looks so angry, and all of them they're fighting it out, and I'm thinking, damn, they're so heavy, and the logo with the electric chair and all the metallic logo, and it's fucking hell. I mean, the cover art reflects the music, I think. And I remember I didn't know from the get-go if this was something for me, but the more it sunk in, the more we played it, and I'm like, wow, man. And then you hear those instrumental parts in their music, and you know, these guys can play. I mean, I've heard Anthrax and I heard Slayer, and it's nothing compared to Metallica. I mean, those guys could play, and I mean, 8 songs on an album. You almost, I mean, back in the day, I wanted like 5 on each side. That's the minimum. I paid good money for this. But you got songs like Fight Fire with Fire, Ride Lightning, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Fade to Black, Trapped Under Ice, Escape, Creeping Death, and Call of Cthulhu. Damn.
Not a bad song on that record, and in fact, not only is there not a bad song, they're all epic. They're all awesome.
Oh yeah,
like Fade to Black. So, I mean, like that song, I think that's my favorite. That and For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Oh yeah,
those are my 2 favorites on that record. You can't go wrong with either one of those. Just, oh yeah, so many good memories listening to that.
Yeah, Yeah, and I was starting out playing the drums when I was like 13 years old, and I got this album like a year later. So I started taking lessons and so forth, and I actually played to For Whom the Bell Tolls. I mean, that wasn't that hard, but I still remember listening to them.
You can't help but bang your head, right?
No,
like I'm hearing it in my head, right? And you got it. You just you can't help it.
And when you later found out he's doing that bit on a bass, it's a bass. Are you shitting me? No, he uses it's a wah pedal. He's using it, and it's nuts. And he's playing with his fingers, and I've seen some of the early stuff, the live clips. It's fucking insane. You see his finger moving like this when he picks on the strings. It's insane.
He was the Jimi Hendrix of bass. He really was.
Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, you got. Oh yeah. I mean,
Steve Harris is good, but Cliff was.
Oh yeah,
he's the fucking Jimmy. He's the Jimmy of the bass.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, he was so musical. I read some stories that James told a reporter when they did an interview a couple of years ago, that he was so instrumental in doing harmonies on piano and whatnot. So they sat down in the studio, and the first time James saw him at the piano, he's thinking, "What's going on? What are you doing?" But it's easier, he said. You listen to this. Here's the melody and whatnot. And he played piano, and James goes, "What the fuck? Is this dude for real?" So harmonies and melodies and so forth. He took it out on a piano. He started.
Oh, I wonder if there's any recordings of that. I would love to hear that.
Oh yeah, me too. So and another thing, I forgot to mention this. I probably mentioned this before, but who cares? When Metallica came to Copenhagen, there's a new arena that opened up, like I think it was 2017, called Royal Arena, and so they wanted Metallica to be the first band to play that arena, since Lars is Danish and so forth. So they played like 4 shows back to back, and James lost his voice because he got a cold. And so people that were going to, I think there was second show, that didn't happen. So, and I think I went to the last one, or number 3. I can't remember. Anyways, so I noticed that the show was on because James was feeling better, but when he got out on stage, he says, I'm not doing 100%, so we're going to do some different stuff. And they played Call of Cthulhu just so that James could rest his voice. I mean, could you imagine getting Call of Cthulhu? I mean, I closed my eyes and I listened to the song, and it took me back. I was like 13, 14 years. Again, it's insane to be able to watch that with Metallica live. I mean, that was a dream come true for me.
You listen to this record, and it's very orchestral in its makeup.
It is.
And then you wonder what the hell happened. Why they left that behind. I'm not trying to dig again, but like, I think that's why the newer Metallica is different, because they're not writing in the same way, and maybe that's based on what you were saying with playing the piano. I feel like that's the big change right there.
And who played the piano?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Unfortunately,
and he's not. Yeah.
I think that was yeah.
And there were some songs left from Cliff on Justice, but from there on, they were on their own.
Yeah, you could
I
hear the
think.
transition in Justice from
Yes, yeah,
from Master to the Black Album. Like you could really hear
yeah,
that transition on the
yeah,
Justice
yeah.
record. Yeah.
I think that Cliff had so much to do with the harmonies and songwriting more than we can ever understand, and the loss that I couldn't even imagine. I mean, they were kids, for crying out loud. They were in like the mid-20s,
Mm-hmm.
and you got this guy with harmonies, and he's got everything going, and he can see music in a completely different way, even though it's heavy as fuck. There is so much harmonies, and you said, like you said before, it's orchestral,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they lost that alongside with Cliff dying.
Yeah.
So and there is a bit part of it on Justice. There is a couple of tunes that he was involved in writing, but from that they were on their own. But it's I'm just glad that they bounced back, because I would rather be in a world where Metallica exists than a world where they don't exist. Because this band means so freaking much to me. So going to a show and be able to see, because I mean, you can literally pick up both Kill 'Em All, Monster, and Ride Lightning, and look at the songs, and you can check their set list. I mean, 80%, between 70 and 80% of all the classic songs are in their set list today.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much they mean to themselves, I think.
Yeah.
So it's
And they still put on a phenomenal show too. I mean,
oh yeah,
just outside the music, like they're so much centric on fans, and they do some fun stuff, and it's just a great show. Just a great show.
It is. And speaking of anniversary, here's another one for you. Could you guess this one? How old it is? This is Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, right there.
That was what, 87, right?
Oh,
or 88?
Right on the money.
Is it 87?
No.
Okay, yeah.
87, yeah.
That record was the soundtrack to my senior year in high school.
Yeah. I know, right? It's crazy.
Nonstop.
35 years old.
Yeah.
35. Jeez.
Man.
I remember. I mean, I've said this before. I posted this on my Instagram account, and I claimed that this is like the most important rock and roll albums of the 80s, because it changed everything. I mean, one of the most important, I would say, not the, but one of the most important albums of the 80s. Because I was listening to Metallica, I was listening to Maiden, Judas Priest, AC/DC, of course, Kiss is always with me and has been from the start, and so forth. And then came like Motley Crue. Okay, I dig those first two albums with Live Wire and
Mm-hmm.
Shadow the Devil and 2000 Lover and those. But then something changed in like the LA strip scene with Poison, and you got Britney Fox and whatnot. I mean, the makeup and everything else. So the first time I saw Guns N' Roses on the video late night playing Welcome to the Jungle, and I thought, damn, such a bunch of posers. But then I thought, damn, this is a good song. It doesn't sound anything like Poison and Britney Fox and those types of bands. This is heavy, but it's got a bit of punk attitude to it. So I went to the record store and asked to listen to it, and I came like 3 songs in. I heard Welcome to the Jungle before, which is the opener on Appetite for Destruction. And then you got It's So Easy, Night Train. And then I said, I gotta have this album. This is fucking insane. I mean, and those guys were for real. It's crazy. You thought that, I mean, those are posers with the Jack Daniels bottles and beer and whatnot, but they're drunks. The whole bunch of them. It's fucking
drunks.
insane to think about it. They're drunks. But what an album. What an album.
And they couldn't follow it up. They couldn't. That was the best thing they did and will ever do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So talking about your experience, you said that was a soundtrack to your senior years.
Oh yeah. I mean, once that came out, that's pretty much. I don't want to say it was the only record that we played, but that was like when my friends and I would hang out. That was the record. And when, was it Sudden Impact? What was the Dirty Harry movie that came out that those guys were in? I think it was Sudden Impact. And I remember going to the movie theater and, watching it and seeing them in there. And we're all like, oh, because we're all these metalheads. And we're like, oh, that's so cool. Those guys are in that movie.
Yeah.
And it was just so much, I don't know. It was just so much energy, and being in high school and having that teenage angst, and these guys just fed into that. Like all those songs, they just kind of fed into that, and just it was just a perfect record for us at that time, at that age.
Oh yeah,
and it was just,
I couldn't agree more. It's I
mean, I think it was that.
insane.
It was Metallica. It was obviously Priest and stuff, but Saxon. But that record, I don't know. We'd go on, we'd go to the river, in Arizona and stuff, and we'd bring that with us, and we'd just drink beer and listen to Guns N' Roses and be stupid teenage kids that fucked around and got into trouble. And it was just, and I still I can just, these memories just, they flood back, and it's just, that's what music does, though. That's what good music does. And this record, again, it's another one that stands the test of time. You pop that fucker on, and you get all that comes back. It's like you're 18 again, and it's awesome.
And like we said before with Ride of Lightning, that there isn't a bad song on there. I mean, you got like It's Always a Night Train. I mentioned that before. Out to Get Me, Mr. Brownstone, Paradise City, My Michelle, Think About You, Sweet Child of Mine, You're Crazy, Anything Goes, and Rocket Queen. There's another bad song on here.
I can't, you were rattling those off. It's like, oh yeah, that's my favorite song in the record. And then, oh no, that one is. No, that one. It's like,
you see,
like My Michelle, just rock. Oh, just they're all just so awesome.
Yeah, it's insane to think about.
Tesla,
and
that was the other band. It was Tesla, Mechanical Resonance, and this one.
Yeah.
Appetite. Those were the two records that we would always play.
Yeah. Jeez. That's cool. That's really awesome. I mean, 35 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Look at those guys. Crazy to see them.
Bunch of hoodlums.
Bunch of hoodlums. But they were our hoodlums.
They were our hoodlums, and we love them.
Yes, we love them. Yeah. So, okay, moving on. A bit of a newer one.
Before you move on, I have to say to everybody listening, if you travel back to how I opened the show, welcome to the jungle. I have no idea what records Mike is bringing up here. And it just so happens he had Appetite with him today. Just saying. Yeah. That's synergy right there, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it is. It is. Because you're my brother from another mother, you see? Right. You can't change that.
You can't change it.
Okay, so I'm moving to into the more heavy department. I discovered this band in the early 90s. It's a Swedish band. I was kind of migrating to this kinds of music on a friend of mine listened to a lot of music with this kind of what do you call it? Dark stuff, death metal. And this is my all-time favorite band when it comes to death metal music. It's Entombed. Right there. Entombed, yeah. Swedish band with a pretty famous guy. If you haven't heard Entombed that much, you probably noticed there's a guy in here who plays the drums. He's called Nicky Anderson, and he's a guitar player and singer of a band called the Helicopters today. So, and he was a founding member of Entombed, and this one came out in 1997, and right when the CD came about, and so I didn't know anything about CDs. I didn't care, and people that released albums back in the day, like Entombed, in that they were not on the broader scale worldwide phenomenon. It's a small genre, death metal. So I think it's released in like 1,500 copies on vinyl record, and yeah, if you find an original today, it'll set you back like $250, something like that. Yeah, and to my surprise, which they rarely do, Swedish bands, they release this and the remaster it from the original tapes, so that I could get it on vinyl finally.
Sweet.
So, and I've been waiting for this. It got released on July 15, and it's both Nicky and the other dudes from Entombed are really vinyl nerds. So if you, I'm showing this to you, Phil, and if you're on YouTube, you can go check it out for yourself. I'm going to read here. Here's how records give you more of what you want. So this is like 8 bullet points for you to read. This is, I'm just going to read a couple of them. They're your best entertainment buy. That's the highlight. They allow you selectively of songs and tracks. With records, it's easy to pick up a song that you want to play and play it again, a particular song or side. All you have to do is lift the pickup arm and place it wherever you want it. You can't do this as easily with anything but a long-played vinyl record. They're attractive, informative, and easy to store. They'll give you hours of continuous and uninterrupted listening pleasure. They're the proven medium. They'll make a great gift, and so forth. 8 bullet points for you right there, why you should buy a vinyl record. And then you got the lyrics on the other side. And I'm so freaking happy about this, because the singer, LG, he died a couple of years ago from cancer. So Entombed is no more. They did a tribute show just a week ago with the original members of Entombed and different singers from different metal bands in Sweden, which I thought was really, really beautiful. Mm-hmm. But this one, to ride, shoot straight, and speak the truth. Listen to this one. A couple of my favorite songs are on here, like this with the Devil, Lights Out, Damn Deal Done, and so forth. Check it out. Entombed. A bit on the heavier side right now. Oh, you see? Entombed, yeah. Heavy stuff. So, Have you ever heard of Entombed before?
I've heard of
You heard
them.
the
I
name,
never
perhaps?
got into the whole
Yes.
death metal thing because the vocals were usually just too comical and too over the top for me.
Yeah.
I've always loved the music
Yeah.
behind it, but the vocals were sort of a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. Then you should listen to Entombed, because that's more rock and roll than you ever will listen to when it comes to death metal.
Yeah.
Because you can hear Nick's influences with the MC5 and Kiss and whatnot, even in Entombed. So it's a deal breaker for you right there.
I'll check them out. I'll check them
try
out.
it out. Yeah.
In
cool.
fact,
so
I'll try to remember.
Yes.
I will listen to them this coming week, and I will report back on the next show what I think.
Ooh, there we go. Oh, and I think you know about this band. A friend of mine writes books about this band and has his own podcast. And he talked about this album in the latest episode. And so I had to talk about it too on my podcast, because I can do whatever the fuck I want. You see? Ever heard of this one?
No,
It's
no. Let's see, Kiss. No, who are these guys?
No,
who's Kiss? Never heard of them.
Turn it upside down.
Oh.
It's Kiss. No, it's sick.
It's sick.
So Kiss Alive 3, right there. Also one of those albums that finally on vinyl. It says Alive 3 limited pressing on a red label. I got number 3,544. So I guess it's sort of like 4,000 or 5,000 copies of this one. And if you get a hold of this one nowadays, I bought it when it got released. I don't know when it was released on vinyl. 1993. No, that's when the album came out. This has to be done in later. I don't know. Who cares? A couple of years ago. And on red vinyl. I'm just gonna show you. We got some sort of like a look TV if you go to YouTube, but no smell TV though.
No scratch and sniff.
This is beautiful. No scratch and sniff.
Especially in this heat, you don't want scratch and sniff. Let me tell you.
No. You see, but this album, it's except for the original lineup and on those first albums, and when they were still alive and kicking and happening, and those like 3 first studio albums and Kiss Alive, and of course Alive 2 and so forth, but up till like when they split in like for real in 1980 or something like that. I think this is the best lineup. You got Eric Singer on drums, you got Bruce Killick on guitar, and this is from like the Revenge era. I usually say it's early 90s, and it's damn, they're on fire here. And you got a great set list. You got Creatures of the Night, Deuce. You got Heavens on Fire, of course, Watching You. I Still Love You. Lick It Up. And you got songs from Revenge like Unholy, Domino. And I don't get this. It ends with Star Spangled Banner. I was curious about that. I've always been curious about that. What is it with American bands doing the national anthem? Why are they doing that?
I can't answer.
I've heard it like
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
Okay,
the only one that ever did it right was Jimi Hendrix. That is
there we go.
Fucking amazing. Other than that,
it is.
Nope. I nope right out of that shit.
No.
Nope. Screw it.
No, because after you I mean, you got like from the last, the songs are all mixed. It's cut and paste when it comes to to the music, of course, and it's that with all live albums.
Don't boost the bubble, man. Don't tell people how the sausage is made. It was live. It's raw. It's uncut. It's everything. Okay, that's how we want to believe it. That's what we choose to believe.
Oh yes. Okay. Okay. So on the last side 4, you got Love It Loud, Detroit Rock City, gave rock and roll to you. That's a perfect ending right there. And then you have to go in and do Star Spangled Banner. I just don't get it. I just don't
now.
Get
do you
it.
listen to it, or do you just get up and move the needle?
No. Oh yeah, now I listen to it. No, you can't interrupt an album. No. It gets me every time. I get annoyed about it. No, I don't lift the needle. What's wrong with you? You played through and through. You never quit an album.
Once you start, you can't stop.
What's wrong with people?
It's like eating potato chips. You can't have just one.
Like Pringles, once you pop, you can't stop. You see?
That's what she said.
Phil Boyer entertaining you all. He's been.
Thanks. I'm here all night. Man. Try the veal.
Yeah.
Okay.
but of course I listen to it. I actually we talked about this before. When I'm doing stuff like this and I pulling out records like we do on these last few shows, because we think this is way too much fun to just talk about only one album. Mm-hmm. This is what I listen to. I pull albums that I listen to from start to finish, and it's original. I've talked about this before. I have to listen to the album. I have to have the cover in my lap, and I have to look at the pictures, read all the inscripts and lyrics and liner notes and so forth. And so that's what I do.
There you go.
And
it's the experience.
Yeah, and Kiss Alive was it's the experience. I mean, and to be able to hold this album like this with both hands and read the liner notes and look at the pictures, it takes me back. It's like listen to Ride Lightning. Every time I hold that one in my hands, and it sounds crazy, but there's a certain smell that, because I bought it back in 1984 when it came out. And for me, it's the essence of it. It's still there. It isn't a newly pressed album. It's the original one that I bought when I was 13 mm-hmm. years old. And I still have it because I take care of my albums. So, and I close my eyes and I travel back there, and all the memory mm-hmm. comes rushing in, and it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
I think it is. So that was my last album for today, Kiss Alive 3.
Alive 3.
Check it out if you haven't.
There you go.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Yes. Coolers.
Nice picks. Nice picks.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It was a wide range.
You just created the playlist for the rest of my week now.
Oh,
so there you go,
cool.
man. You just put those on and you just rock out.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Do it. Make it happen. Okay, so and for people out there listening, and you can go on YouTube and check out and see everything on video when I show up the album covers, or you can go to my Instagram account at Sounds on Vinyl, and we're on Facebook too. And if you listen to the show and want to see transcripts, you can go to soundsonvinyl.com. You can listen to the show even there. And yeah.
All right.
That's about it.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Last thing. No. That's it.
That's it. Okay. All right. Then I guess we're done.
That's it.
Until next week. Later.